Bonjour, Madame Nelly. Est-ce que vous êtes là? Good day, Madame Nelly. Are you there? Aujourd'hui, on continue avec notre classe. Et si vous êtes en ligne, dites-moi. So today we are continuing with our class. If you are with us, let me know. Je suis en ligne maintenant. I am online right now. Et aujourd'hui, on va continuer avec le module 1 de FTC, le programme de FTC pour les débutants. So today we are continuing with the FTC French Mastery Program, and for the beginner level, we are starting. On va commencer avec la classe débutant aujourd'hui. So today we are starting with the débutant class, the beginner class. La classe dernière, on a traité l'introduction. The last class, we treated introduction. Mais dans cette classe, on va traiter le module 1 qui est le niveau A1 de la langue française. So today we are going to be taking the beginner class, which is the A1 class of the French language. Mais on va utiliser le programme français et aussi la préparation du TEF ou TCF Canada. Alors, aujourd'hui, on doit parler de votre examen, que vous allez faire la préparation. So today, we are going to also be talking about the exam that you are going to be preparing for. Alors, aujourd'hui, ce n'est pas juste pour l'apprentissage de la langue française, mais aussi on va traiter la préparation du TEF ou TCF ou DELF, DALF. So today, we are not just going to be taking the training, the French language training, but we are going to be doing also the preparation of the TEF or the TCF Canada examination. D'accord? Mais, comme par avant, on va écouter très bien au cours et après ça, on va revisiter toutes les choses qu'on a déjà apprendre. On a déjà quoi appris? So, firstly, we are going to listen. We'll listen to the course of the French. And after listening to the French, we are now going to come back to explain all what we learned. D'accord? Si vous êtes en classe la dernière fois, if you were in class in the last time, on a déjà fait le cours introduction. We have already done the introductory course, le cours d'introduction, the introductory course. Aujourd'hui, on commence avec le niveau de A1. Today, we are starting with the what? With the level A1. D'accord? Si vous êtes en classe, dis-moi. Je suis en classe maintenant, Madame Nelly. I am... Okay. D'accord? D'accord. Il faut rejoindre. Maintenant, il faut écouter très bien à cette classe et après ça, on va revisiter toutes les choses on a déjà appris. So firstly, listen very well to all what we have today, and later on we are going to come to explain all what we are discussing. D'accord? Maintenant, on commence.
Lesson of the module 1. Bienvenue au cours français du TEF Canada. Welcome to the French course for TEF Canada examination. I'm Abdulaziz Ola Chederou. Je m'appelle Abdulaziz Ola Chederou de l'Académie A.O.S of the A.O.S Academy. Now, this is going to be the first lesson ever in the Module 1 for French for TEF Canada examination online course. I'm so happy to be the first coach that is going to be taking you on this episode or on this lesson of the Module 1. Now, the first one is, as we know it, language planning, or how to plan for your French language learning. And the very first lesson we're going to be taking in this module is how to start learning French from scratch. How to start learning French from scratch. There are various ways of starting to learn the French language, but I've actually noticed that in order to be able to learn a particular language, specifically the French language, you have to follow a kind of pattern. And when I mean pattern, it's not a pattern that is quite rigid, but it's something that you really need to take cognizance of so that you really know why you are learning, what you want to achieve by learning it, and how exactly you are going to go about learning the French language. So let's start with the very first step you need to take while learning the French language. And the very first step is make a decision. It is very, 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 very important. Make a decision. Do you want to learn French now, or you want to learn it later? And when we mean later, you need to be specific. Is it in a month's time, or in months' time, maybe 2 months or 3 months? And how many months will that be? Or do you want to learn it in a year, or in a couple of years from this time? And please note that your access to French for TEF Canada online course is as long as the course exists. So you can decide to want to learn it now. You can decide that you want to learn it some other time. However, our support system, whereby we actually give you feedback in terms of answering your exercises, your tests, your evaluations, it lasts for just 1 year. But you can take the course content anytime you so wish in and around a particular year until the course elapses. What we mean by that is until we actually do without the course. Now, the very next thing for you to do is set a goal. Set a goal is very important. Please get real with your French learning. Don't just want to learn French in a nilly-willy way. You have to take it serious. And in other words, you have to set smart goal, a smart goal to learn. And when we mean smart, the first S in the smart is specific. What exactly do you want to achieve by learning it? Do you want to be able to converse in the French language? Or do you want to be able to actually go and seek further knowledge? Do you understand? You want to go and further your studies using the French language in a French country? Or do you just want to learn it for leisure, maybe for trading activities, for just business purposes? You have to know why you want to learn it, what you want to achieve by learning it. Now, how many grades or points do you wish to get, or do you need in your, take for instance, the express entry pool, the CRS score? How many grades? Do you need a 30 points? Do you need a 60 points? Do you need, what exactly do you want to achieve by actually learning the French and taking the TEF Canada examination? Is it achievable? Like, can you attain this within the time frame that you have put on it? If you have said you want to learn it for 3 months, can you achieve it within that 3 months based on your own ability to learn? Are you someone that can learn fast? Those are the things you need to ask yourself. Now, is it relevant? How important is learning French to you now? Is it that, okay, maybe you are just in your maybe 200 level in the university, or maybe you are just a director in an organization and you don't really see it as a need? You understand? You just see it as a want, something that you just feel like doing. Do you understand? So you have to ask yourself, how important is it to you? You can rank it on a scale of 1 to 10. That, oh, I think it's 7. 7 is still a good point. But if it's going to 2 or 3, that's, you won't take it serious. It's just the fact. You won't take it serious as you ought to. Now, is it time bound? What I mean by that is, have you put an exact time you want to use to learn and prepare for the exam? Do you want to learn it in 3 months, as I've said the other time? And in that 3 months, is it that something, are you going to give it your best in that 3 months to actually achieve it? Because the problem is not if you can achieve it. The problem is, are you ready to achieve it? That is it. So planning is just about you knowing your numbers. You have to be able to calculate. You understand? I know some people will be looking at. I don't like maths. So why is numbers coming into French learning? Well, the truth about it is, when you are planning for something, you need to be able to look at the eventualities. So you have to put a number. You have to put a time range. You have to put a time frame. You have to be much more serious about it. You can't just dive into it. If you dive into, I've seen a lot of people do it. You dive into learning the language and you dive out. The way you came is the way you go. That's just the truth. Because why? You have not taking time to actually plan it, so that you will know what exactly you are meant to do for a day, in a week, in a month, up until you finish your learning process. Now, let's do some calculations here, please. According to the Foreign Service Institute US, United States, and the Federal Ministry of Education, France, languages like French takes the Anglophone, which are the French, the English speakers rather, about 500 to 600 hours of learning to reach a conversational competence. And I'll prove that to you in the next slide. But let me just give you this option. Let's say you take the first option, option 1. You want to learn French in 6 months. If you calculate 6 months in terms of weeks, that's 24 weeks. Now, if you now look at that, I like to go with the highest, the 600 hours. I didn't go with the 500. 600 hours. So I now divided 600 by 6 months. So that means approximately it will take me 100 hours per month, which a month is 30 days, to actually learn. So as a result of that, per day, I just need just 3 hours. Just 3 hours. 3 hours, not only reading. Please take note of that. But using the language. Listening to the language, hearing people speak the language, you understand? Reading the language and things like that. Now, option 2 is to learn French in 3 months. I gave you just 2 options here. You can give yourself a third option, no problem. You can want to learn it in 4 months. Just do your math, just do your calculations. So 3 months is 12 weeks. And if you look at that, to learn French for 600 hours will give you 200 hours per month. So that's 30 days, and that's like 6 hours per day. That's like a quarter of your day. You should be able to learn for a quarter of your life. It's very important. You should be able to learn that. You understand? So please, draw your own map. Do you get it? It's very important. Ask yourself, how long do you want to take in learning the French language? Now, for visual purpose, I would like to actually analyze this using the chart that was given to us by the Foreign Service Institute, US. They said that we have 4 categories of languages, and French language is a Romance language, which falls under the first category, and you have about 22 to 24 weeks. That's approximately 576 to 600 class hours to reach advanced. Now, note that advanced level proficiency. What's that telling you? That's telling you that they even approve of you learning it within 3 to 6 months. Do you get it? So I'm not just saying fluff when I tell people that you can do it. And it's not just that I see statistics and go by it. I've seen people do it as well. I have taught people that have done it. So I know it is possible. The only thing is you need to work, because it's not going to be easy. It's just the truth. It's not going to be easy. So you have to be able to work towards it. And if you look at my far right, you see that even French official examinations, which is by the Ministry of Education, France, in the B2 independent user level, says that the independent user would be able to have a degree of fluency and spontaneity in regular interactions. He can be able to develop his own opinions. He can be able to explain his own point of view and negotiate, you understand, in business transactions, for instance. And see the wonderful aspect of it. It can also apply for an academic program taught in French in France, and not only France, but other French-speaking countries. So please study this above charts carefully, and you would ask yourself, can you actually see it that it's even legally recognized to learn French in 3 to 6 months? Can you see it by yourself? And are you willing? Are you willing to actually take it? You understand? To actually take it serious and learn it within that time range? Now, please, let's look at the TEF Canada standards. The TEF Canada standards has the CLB, the Canadian Language Benchmark. And if you look at the levels, the level basic 1, basic 2 is like the beginner in French. Intermediate 1, intermediate 2 is like the intermediate, while advanced 1, advanced 2, advanced. Do you get it? But if you have, you understand, in order to boost your score, if you can have 6 or 7, you understand, you can fall into the intermediate level at least, especially the intermediate level 2, you're able to actually boost your CRS score. You understand? So let's plan. How exactly are you going to do? How exactly are you going to do that? It's very important. How exactly are you going to come about that? Now, please, let's look at it. The very first thing is tap into your inner child. Tap into your inner child. Very important. Very important. Now, what do I mean by that? There's a belief in the language learning certain that in order to that children per se learn much more easier, you understand, much more easier and faster than the adults. And even though that is true, it is partially true. If you are able to actually put yourself as a child, you understand, not lower your standards but actually redevelop yourself, refine yourself as a child, you'll be able to learn, you understand, quite faster and much more easier than a child. If you look at the cone of learning, which was adapted by me from Robert Kiyosaki's address, you see that there are 2 levels, you understand, 2 nature of involvement in learning. The one that is passive and the one that is active. If you are passive, you will be reading, which is the least. And that's why what you learn in school is mostly taught by reading. And it's wrong. I'm sorry to say that. If you go to a physical school and you are learning just by reading, bet me, you would remember lesser and lesser and lesser of it. 10% of what you are used to or what you read. If you are just hearing words from the teacher, you won't still be able to get much because it's just 20% of what you hear you are going to remember. If you are looking at pictures, 30%, watching a movie, watching a demonstration, looking at an exhibition, or seeing it done on a location will still give you 50%, and that is average. I don't teach for the average. I teach for the best. So if you are wanting to learn and you actually start on the active involvement nature of language learning, like you actually participate in a discussion, for instance, you would have 70% of what you say. Do you understand? And that is wonderful. 70% will give you at least CLB 6 or 7. If you are giving a talk in the language, it will help you, and that's one of the things we do. You are going to have some situations whereby you would have to use the language amongst your language coaches, people teaching you, your language partners. You understand? So you also will be involved. You understand? You won't just be receiving. You won't be at the receiving end. You also be at the producing end of the language learning process. And even doing a dramatic presentation or simulating the real experience, simulating in form of maybe playing a language game, quizzes, you understand, puzzles that will make you learn the language more. You understand? Those are one of the things we are trying to incorporate into the course right now. And even doing the real thing of speaking the language, doing the real thing of listening to the language and understanding the language. It will give you a whole 90% of what you say and what you do. So please, I beg you, don't take time thinking or talking about learning French. Rather, be speaking the French already. Start from the very first day. If you look at what I did when I started learning, when I started talking about this the very first time, I said, Bienvenue au cours français du TEF Canada. And I gave you the meaning of that. That, oh, welcome to the what? To the French course for TEF Canada examination. Do you get it? That is one thing you have learned. And don't just learn it by listening to it, or else you are going to fall on the what 20% of what you hear. Rather, what you now do is participate. You understand? Imitate. You understand? Simulate that experience. Do you get it? Around you, with people around you. Now, so practice what you learn at once. Don't just wait. Do you get it? Please, please don't just wait. Learning French is much more about reading books or researching the best way. I've seen a lot of people go on Google, type it on Google that, oh, what's the best way to learn French? It won't help you if you don't practice it. That's just the truth. You have to be able to practice what you learn as at the point you actually see it, or
Practice.
at the point you actually
Practice.
recognize or research and find it out. So it is about you doing the speaking just like a child is going to do it, and better than a child is going to do it. Do you get it? So please, the next thing for you is find your language learning habit. It's very important. Find your language learning habit. Make learning French language a lifestyle change. Using these techniques, I've given you 4 basic techniques to actually learn the French language. The 4 basic techniques, the first one is shadowing. And this technique entails you repeating what you hear. Repeating what you hear from either the tape, from TV, from radio, from phones, from recorder, or even from a native speaker. Do you get it? Just as I have spoken the French language to you in the beginning of this, you also need to repeat what I say. You understand? And also make use of it. And that is how you are going to become fluent in the language. The second technique is self-mirroring. In fact, when I first did this while I was in school, people thought I was crazy. But it's one way that actually helps you learn. And the technique entails you looking at something translucent, a mirror, for instance, a glass. Do you get it? And looking at yourself speak the language by pronouncing the words, pronouncing the sounds. Do you get it? Speaking, giving sentences. In other words, you are helping yourself practice the language before you actually stand in front of someone teaching the language. And that moves on, that takes us to the next technique, tutoring or training or teaching. And that's when you, as a skilled person, because you have actually self-teach yourself, you are now able to teach someone lesser than you. Do you get it? And you don't need to wait in order to be a teacher before you can teach. I do always say this, every one of us, we are in levels. We are in levels. There are some people that I have met that still teach me the French language. Just like you would also agree with me that you too don't know the English language like the English people themselves. Do you understand? But the difference is that they can be in level 9 or level 10. I can be in level 7 or level 8. You understand? So me being in level 7 means that I can teach someone in level 1. I can teach someone down to like level 5. Do you get it? So be able to teach people. And you don't really need to be teaching people as the teachers do in school. You can speak the language. Speaking the language is even one way of teaching itself, because you are practicing what you learned, and people will learn. People that are fast in learning can learn through that way also. Another way is communication, and this is where I want you to get into. You need to hold conversations with French speakers, and that's why our French coaches will speak French with you. Your language partners will also speak French with you, just to make you learn the language and to actually practice using the language. Please, the next thing is make mistakes. I value when people make mistakes and want to get corrected. There's difference between you making mistakes, correcting yourself, and you making mistakes and being arrogant about it. Don't be arrogant. You are here to learn. We know you don't know it. But be as a student to be by wanting to what? Wanting to listen, wanting to hear what someone is going to say, and what? Wanting to learn the correct one. Interaction is key. So mistakes too are inevitable. Mistakes are inevitable. You can't do without it if you want to learn. Do you get it? We in life also make mistakes. So native speakers are just like language parents, funny enough, because any attempt by you wanting to communicate in their language, they see it as a kind of objective proof that you are actually a genius. You understand? A gifted genius. Why? Because they would appreciate your effort and even help you in that process. So the more you speak, the funny thing is the more you make mistakes, but conversely, the more you get to improve in order to get the elusive ideal or the ideal of native-like fluency. The truth is, everybody, one of us, or let me say all of us, most of us are not fluent in the language yet. We are still getting there. And I don't teach for fluency, I teach for spontaneity. I teach for you what being competent, being proficient to a level, you understand, to the level I have reached and I've actually passed. Do you understand? So find native speakers near you and just speak with them. We are going to be teaching you what to speak with them. So it's not that we are just going to leave you to actually just speak with them anyhow. You will be taught what to speak with. speak with them. But do not worry about your mistakes. Make them. They are just stepping stones to fluency. Now use confidence. Confidence has a way of making you attractive and eloquent. The way you speak determines the way you are looked upon. Similarly, the way you are dressed is the way you are going to be addressed. Don't be timid in your speaking. Speak rather eloquent in errors. It's very important. Practice makes perfect. So in time, you would get to that eloquence. Just don't worry. Continue. Make friends that help you feel confident in your French language learning process. So some people don't even know much. That's the funny thing. Some people don't know much, but others feel they do because of how they portray what they do know. I'm not talking about you faking it or acting up. No, but show the part. You just show the part. If you are trying to become eloquent, show the part that you are trying to become that eloquent person. And in time, people would see you as such. Now, keep track. It's very important. Keep track of your processes. Keep track of your strategies. I know life has its way of playing around. It has its way. It plays pranks on us. But if you become organized in your learning process, you would realize that you will find it rather simple in learning than hard. Do you get it, to follow up? So, in other words, make a productivity tracker of all the list of activities you would like to do on a weekly, daily, and monthly basis. We have actually developed a productivity tracker that is going to be in your exercises, which you can download, in which you would list out all the activities you want to be doing on a daily basis. You are the one to select. All we just need to do is to guide you through your selection. Look at the principles, the strategies, the processes that can help you, the techniques that you yourself can use, you understand, that can be patent to you to learn the language. You understand? Because everybody are different. The way you are going to learn language is different from the way I learn language. So don't just learn without a pattern. Develop yours. Stick to it. You understand? And make sure you are cognizant of the results you are getting from it regularly. Because if you are not getting results from it, then that means you have to change it. Do you get it? So in other words, evaluate yourself after a few weeks to a month. Were you able to do what you said you want to do, and why? If you weren't, what worked and what didn't work? If it worked, you understand, if you actually were able to do it, what was that thing that worked that helped you do that thing? And as a result of that, evaluate anyone that didn't work, get to start again. You understand? Use another process, use another technique, another strategy to actually learn. Get peer pressure. It's very important. Get peer pressure. The main reason why we pair you with language partners is to build up positive peer pressure in you. Naturally, some people are more focused than others. That is the way life is. So you can get strength from each other and one another. You understand? If you are paired with one person, you can get strength from that person. If you are paired with two or more people, you can get strength from the other people. Do you get it? So note, don't get resentful with someone else's progress. No. And the other shouldn't be filled with pride by his own or her progress. It's all about balance and support. We are all supporting ourselves to make it in this language learning pursuit. You can choose your partners on the Facebook group yourself, though at the beginning of the course, we will give you a partner to begin with. However, you may decide to take another person as a partner. You are responsible for what you get out of that partner. Do you understand? And we won't force a partner on you, because the main reason we are giving you is to help you, not to actually not be of assistance to you. Do you get it? It's for that person to help you. You may be wondering, how can you help a person that is just learning French like you? It is possible. It is possible, because the ways that people get to understand things are different. And through your conversations, you realize that you will not understand some things that you would understand more, or you might not understand something that you as a female will understand more. So as a result of that, you would help yourself in the language learning process. Now, work with your coach. Is very important. Please work with your coach. Each language coach on the Facebook group is assigned to a definite number of language students. So work closely with your own coach. You can, however, practice French with every other coach and even students in and out of the group at any time permissible by them. But the main thing is learn from their mistakes, their questions, and clarifications. Some questions some people learn from it. The fact that you didn't ask doesn't mean you cannot gain from that question.
Exactly.
Do you get it? Your coach will be announced to you via email or on the group. Now, another thing people shy away from is reward yourself. Reward yourself is very important. I
Present.
realize that people forget this part.
The
So
present.
I now emphasize more on it. This serves as a very good source of motivation to you while learning. When you start learning French, give yourself a treat or something. When you learn how to pronounce French sounds very well, buy yourself a gift.
Oui,
When you learn your first 500 words in French, go sightseeing
voilà.
or mountain climbing. When you can construct French sentences, take a beach ride.
C'est bon.
You understand? Or when you can speak spontaneously in French conversations, you can travel to a French country and give yourself a treat. You understand? Go for vacation. The main thing is just don't forget to use French while rewarding yourself, because that again is another learning process, is another learning avenue for you. Another thing is record yourself. It's very, very important. Record yourself. Just as I am talking, I have recorded this. This is pre-recorded. You understand? It's pre-recorded. So I was listening to what I was saying. You understand? After recording this. Do you get it? After recording it, I've seen how I was able to do well in it. But if you don't record, you won't be able to know that. So the way you speak will be most certainly different from that of your coach. So record how you use the language, listen to it, send your audios to your coach, and make corrections on them after working on them. I always recommend make your first audio ever in French and keep it without deleting it up until 3 to 6 months time and see the difference. It is always one testimony on its own, and I value that testimony. Please do it. Even with the bienvenue that I talked about in the beginning of this, you can use it to do it. You understand? And at the end of this session, at the end of this lesson, we are going to be learning some French also. La présentation. We'll be learning some things. So, which is introduction in French. You can use that also. But the main thing is record. Do you get it? Keep note of what we are doing, please. It's very important. Now, one thing is sure, if you take the course, do the assignments and the test, you could and would have improved drastically. Adapt your hobbies and profession. Are you a chemist? How about reading scientific journals in French? Are you a sports lover? Why don't you hear French commentaries of sports, ball, football, volleyball, basketball? Are you a driver? Won't it profit you to look at French on your dashboard? In fact, once you open, like there's, I think, the rear mirror. Once you open the rear mirror for cars that are quite okay, you understand? We're not talking about all this moto in Nigeria. We're talking about cars that are actually cool. Now you'll see that they would have a description that will tell you about what that rear mirror is for. You understand? Or maybe it's on the dashboard. They will have descriptions in English. Some will be in English and French. Some will be in English, French, German. That kind of thing. It would help you through translation. You'll be able to look at the English one, look at the French one, and start learning it. You need not wait before you are in a class to learn French. So do you like going shopping? Why don't you learn trading words? Why don't you learn how to barter? You understand? How to actually negotiate. Things like that. Words used while negotiating. Do you like watching TV? How about seeing French movies? It helps a lot because you are not just learning the language, but you are learning the culture of the language simultaneously. Do you love chatting? Why don't you mix French with your chats? It's one thing I did very early while I was starting to learn French. So please use the Facebook group. The Facebook group is a private group that houses French speakers, students, coaches, among others, who are keen about learning, teaching, and even motivating you to learn French. So we would be receiving your exercises, your TEF tests, and assignments through it. So kindly provide your Facebook username to us via email, AOS_academy@yahoo.com, or the AOS Academy at gmail.com. Please note, there's a sign of warning here. As I always tell my students, use your money. It's very important. You paid for this course. As you know, there is no refund. If you don't, then read the course terms and conditions via the link on top of this video. La présentation. Now we come to where we are going to be speaking French. La présentation means introduction. The very first thing you are going to do in the French Facebook group which we developed, which we opened for you, the private group, is to present yourself. Is the very first exercise that is required of you. And how will you present yourself? You present yourself using this pattern. I have given you a sample. Je m'appelle A.O.S. My name is A.O.S. Abdulaziz Olashodero. Je suis professeur français. I am a French coach or I am a French teacher. You are a student, so you can say je suis étudiant français. Je suis étudiant français. If you are a feminine, you say je suis étudiante française. Je suis étudiante française. We'll still be taking all this in details, but this is just for the first time. And as you are giving the exercises, also be recording because we want to hear you speak the French language. Je suis Nigérian. Je suis Nigérian. I am a Nigerian. But if you are a feminine, you can say je suis Nigériane. Je suis Nigériane. You would pronounce the last N as a feminine. But as a masculine, you won't pronounce the N. Je suis Nigérian for masculine. Je suis Nigériane for feminine. Now, je viens de l'état de Lagos. Je viens de l'état de Lagos. I come from Lagos State. That means I hail from Lagos State. Je suis célibataire. I am single. If you want to say, I come from Ondo State, for instance, you say, je viens de l'état d'Ogun. Je viens de l'état d'Ogun. You won't say d'Ogun. We'll still take that some other time, but for now, just note that anywhere we have two vowels coming together, the second vowel is going to disappear for the first to actually, the first vowel is going to disappear for the second vowel to be left in that construction. So that DE, the E, which we call E in French, is going to be removed, and the Ogun is still going to be there just as it is in normal writing. So, je viens de l'état d'Ogun. I am from Ogun State. Je suis célibataire. I am single. If you want to say I am engaged, je suis engagé. Je suis engagé. I am engaged. Je suis marié. I am married. Je suis marié. I am married. And if you want to say I am complicated, I know nobody is complicated, but if you want to say that je suis compliqué, but that is colloquial French. We don't use that in Parisian French, which is what we are trying to teach you here. Now, j'ai 24 ans. J'ai 24 ans. J'ai 24 ans. You understand? That means I am 24 years old. As at the time we were making this video, I am 24 years old. Je parle français, anglais, yoruba, chinois et arabe. I speak French, English, Yoruba, Chinese, and Arabic. You would notice that I didn't put the meaning of that in that. The reason is that I always want to test you right as I am teaching you to note if you are following. Is one of the techniques of teaching. I didn't put that because I want you to have that in your memory intuitively. You understand? In your subconscious mind without you looking at it. Je parle. Je, as you can see, it means I. Parle means to speak. You understand? So if I say je parle, it means I speak. Français, French. Anglais, English. Yoruba, Yoruba. Chinois, Chinese. Arabe, Arabic. That A that is in between Chinois and Arab means what? And in French. So it means I speak French, English, Yoruba, Chinese, and Arabic. J'aime étudier. J'aime means I love or I like. J'aime étudier. I love to étudier means to study. I love to study. Rechercher, to research. Apprendre, to learn. Et enseigner les langues and teach the languages and teach languages. I'll take that again. J'aime étudier. I like to study. J'aime rechercher. I like to research. J'aime apprendre. I like to learn. Et j'aime and I like enseigner les langues and I like to teach languages. I know I'm quite fast in this. I'm going to be taking it slowly in subsequent videos. This is just for the introductory aspect. Do you understand? So please try to bear with me. I'll still be taking it in much more slower aspects in the upcoming lessons. Now, following that, we have la présentation again. If you meet someone for the first time, you won't just be telling them, je m'appelle A.O.S. You understand? You would first greet them, right? You can say bonjour, good day. You can say bonsoir, good evening. You understand? Comment ça va? How are you? You understand? You can say ça va, how are you? It also means how are you? Très bien, very well, very good, fine. Merci, thank you, or it can mean thanks. Et vous means and you. When you want to ask the second person, are you also fine? Instead of saying comment ça va, do you get it? You can just say et vous and you. However, that is for someone that is older than you. If you want to talk to someone that is lesser than you will say et toi. But because now we are talking with someone we are just meeting for the first time, preferably like our language coach and our language partners in the Facebook group, you would rather use a vous because you are just meeting them. The French people are more formal when they meet for the first time. That's one culture you need to learn in the French language learning process. Now, monsieur means Mr. Madame means Miss. Mrs. Mademoiselle means Miss. But you can say ladies and gentlemen. That is mesdames et messieurs. Mesdames et messieurs. Je m'appelle. My name is, as I've said earlier. But if you want to ask, what's your name? You can say, comment vous appelez-vous? What is your name? Comment vous appelez-vous? What is your name? Enchanté. Nice to meet you. Enchanté. Or you can say enchanté de faire votre connaissance. I'll take that again. Enchanté de faire votre connaissance. Nice to get to know you, or it can also mean nice to meet you. It's just a much more longer way to say enchanté. You can just say enchanté without saying all those. But if you want to say nice to meet you, sir, how will you say that? Enchanté, monsieur. Did you get that? You see the trick? If you want to say, what is your name, miss? You say, comment vous appelez-vous?
Madam.
Comment vous appelez-vous? What? Mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle.
Did you get that? Comment vous appelez-vous? Mademoiselle. Now, le devoir, your assignment. Please download the French planning exercises. Very important. Download them. Contact your French coach. By now, some of you could have known your French coach through email. Some, maybe if you didn't get the email, or if perhaps it wasn't sent through email, you would know through the Facebook group. Do you understand? So contact your French learning coach. Introduce yourself to your French partner. Once you get to contact your French coach is going to pair you up with a partner, a serious one. So introduce yourself to your French partner and also to your French coach too, using the French we just learned. And listen to the introduction very well. Please, you can listen to this part of this video 2 times, 3 times. As I said, watch this video at least twice and discuss about it. Discuss about it with your language partner. You can discuss about it. Now, send all your assignments to the Facebook group. Send it, please. Send all of them and tag them with the appropriate hashtags. There are hashtags for the presentation, la présentation, the introduction. Some people will call presentation présentation. Do you get it? That's what we call faux amis in French. But on another day, we are going to be talking about that. That's fake friends. We call it fake friends in French. La présentation is different from presentation in French. In English, it's not the same thing. It doesn't mean the same thing. La présentation means introduction. Do you get it? In English. Now, plan exercise. The exercise we actually said you should do, we would like to see them. So draft it, and if you actually did it via the use of a paper and a biro, show the paper and the biro. Do you get it? How you wrote it. Let your handwriting just be legible. you understand, in form of a picture. But if not, type it on the Facebook group and send it. Now, your productivity tracker, also download it. And as you download it, please make sure that you write out all the activities that you want to do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Do
D'accord.
you get it? Please write them out. For those who haven't checked out our freebies that we have given out, please say it on the private Facebook group. We are going to send out our freebies to you again to actually get, and that would also help you learn more. It is like a complete starter pack for people that are just learning the French language. Thank you very much, and au revoir. Au revoir means see you later. However, people use it for goodbye, but au revoir literally means see you later. Au revoir.
D'accord. On a déjà fini le cours de FTC pour aujourd'hui. So, okay, we are done with the lesson, the FTC lesson for today. Maintenant, la discussion. Now we have the discussion. Est-ce que vous êtes là, Madame Nelly? Bonjour. Are you there, Madame Nelly? Bonjour. On va discuter en...
Bonjour.
Oui, bonjour, Madame. On va discuter en français maintenant. We are going to be discussing in French now. On va réviser. On va réviser le cours de TEF. On a déjà entendu dans cette classe. So we are going to also be revising the course that we actually watched together in the class today. Est-ce que vous êtes d'accord? Are you in agreement? Est-ce que
Oui,
vous êtes
d'accord.
d'accord? Merci, merci beaucoup. Maintenant, la première question. On va discuter mieux en français après le cours de FTC. Qu'est-ce que c'est les mots dans cette phrase? What are the words in that sentence? On va discuter mieux en français après le cours de FTC. Lesquels mots qui sont le nom, les verbes, les adjectifs, la préposition et les autres? Do we know different words in French like that? Like the nouns, the verbs, the pronouns, the prepositions and things like that. Le premier, on. Qu'est-ce que c'est en français? What is on in French language? On. On va discuter. What is on?
Oh,
Oui.
oh, in this case, I would say it's is the third person singular,
OK, d'accord. Maintenant,
meaning we.
meaning oui. D'accord, pas de problème. On in this case. On dans cette situation, répétez après moi, repeat after me. On dans cette situation, on in this
No,
case. Oui.
mm,
Oui, répétez après moi. On, dans cette situation,
oh, dans cette situation,
c'est la personne, répétez,
c'est la personne
troisième,
troisième
singulier.
singulier.
Oui. Now, look at that. What you said initially is, on in this situation is the what? Is the third person singular, right? Or what did you say? Is that what you said?
Yes,
Oui,
third person singular.
third person singular. That's what we translated. On a traduire votre phrase en français. We translated your sentence into French. En, dans en français means in. Cette situation means this situation. Maintenant, notez en français n'importe mot en anglais qui se termine en ION. Any word in English that ends in ION, c'est du français. Actually comes from French language. C'est la prononciation est un peu différente. It is the pronunciation that is a little bit different. Alors, par exemple, pronunciation. What are we going to say pronunciation? How are we going to say pronunciation in French?
Prononciation.
Oui, prononciation. Répétez après moi. Prononciation.
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 Oui. Discussion. What is discussion in French? Qu'est-ce que c'est discussion en français?
Discussion.
Discussion.
Discours.
Discussion. Répétez après moi.
Discussion.
Discussion. Très bien. Discussion.
Discussion.
Voilà, c'est bon. So, dans ces situations, situation in French is what? What is situation?
Situation.
Très bien. Situation. Très bien. Situation. So you are learning. Dans le cours de FTC, nous avons les audios de Michel Thomas. In the FTC course, we have some audios of Michel Thomas. Michel Thomas, c'est un professeur français qui explique les similarités et les différences entre le français et l'anglais. Now, Michel Thomas is a teacher, a French teacher that explains similarities between English and French pour les anglophones, for anglophones comme nous, like us. So, vous pouvez entendre très bien les audios dans le cours de FTC. You can also listen to the audio that we have in the FTC online course. Je pense qu'on a commencé de module 2 ou bien module 3. I think it starts from module 2 or module 3. C'est très, très facile à utiliser pour apprendre la langue française. That course, that audio is very easy for you to use to learn French. Vous n'écrivez rien et vous ne lisez rien. You are not going to read anything and you are not going to listen. You are not going to write anything when you are actually using that audio. C'est clair? Is it clear? C'est clair?
Oui, c'est clair.
Maintenant, on continue. On va, il said on, ça c'est le troisième personne, c'est pas singulier. Ça c'est la correction. La correction de correction in French. C'est quoi ça? What is correction in French?
Correction.
Très bien, très bien. La correction. La correction. Il y a deux mots pour la correction en français. There are two words for correction in French. We have la correction. Ça, c'est les mots à mots. La traduction de mot à mot. That is the literal translation. And we also have la corriger. Je peux utiliser la correction dans la classe et en écriture, je peux utiliser la corriger. In the class, I can make use of it like la correction, but when we are writing texts, we can use corriger en écriture, in writing. So that's the two meanings of correction in French. D'accord, on continue. On va discuter maintenant. I said on. On, c'est la troisième personne plurielle. Troisième personne plurielle. It is the third person plural, not singular, because we, in that situation, can stand for troisième personne plurielle dans cette situation, in this situation. Mais on peut utiliser, on peut aussi troisième personne singulier dans une autre situation. We can also use on for troisième personne singulier in another situation. Par exemple, if I say on y va, on y va. Or, oui, on y va. Qu'est-ce que c'est on y va en français? What's the meaning of on y va en français?
On y va.
On y va, oui, on y va. Vous savez la signification? Do you know the meaning?
Yes.
On y va?
We go there.
Très bien, très bien. Very well. That's a nice. On y va. On y va, ça veut dire on can stand for troisième personne singulier ou pluriel. It can mean let's go. The first meaning. On y va can mean let's go. On y va aussi can also mean he goes there. Or he or she goes there. He or she, because it can be singular for Plural for féminin ou bien masculin. It can stand for either masculine or feminine. On utilise on y va. Dans ces situations, vous ne savez pas le genre ou bien le nombre de la personne. Ça, c'est les pronoms impersonnels. So, on, en français, on literally means impersonal pronoun. Littéralement, it means impersonal pronoun. Pourquoi? C'est la raison, vous ne savez pas les personnes. You don't know the person that you are going to talk to. Like, on y va, let's go. Ça veut dire plusieurs personnes ou bien juste deux personnes. It can mean that, okay, just two people that are going somewhere. Or it can mean that many people are going somewhere together. Alors, vous ne savez pas le numéro, le nombre ou bien le genre du nom de la personne. That means the time you use on is when you don't know the person that you are going to talk to. You don't know the person that is going. You don't know. It is impersonal pronoun. C'est clair?
Oui.
Oui, c'est clair. Maintenant, va. Va, on va discuter. Va, c'est duquel nom. Duquel nom. What do you call it now? The va is from what word? C'est duquel mot?
Allez.
Allez, très bien, très bien. So, aller, on va. The va in that instance stands for go. The verb go, which is from the verb aller. And aller, ça veut dire en anglais to go. Aller in English means to go. It is the verb to go. Maintenant, discuter. Discuter. Qu'est-ce que c'est discuter en anglais? What is discuter in English?
Discuter. No, this one I've not seen anywhere. Sorry.
Discuter. D'accord, pardon. Discuter, ça veut dire to discuss. To discuss. J'ai pour voir le français et aussi la signification du français en anglais. If you look at the comment section, I put the French and I also put the meaning of the French in English.
Okay.
Parce que j'ai noté que vous ne comprenez pas toujours le français sur le bavard. I noticed that you don't really know every word of French that I put in the chat section. So I will be translating for now. Dans ce niveau, in this level, as I'm writing it, I'll be translating and putting inverted commas to show you the meaning. D'accord. So, discuter, ça c'est le verbe to discuss. To discuss. Est-ce que vous avez déjà fait la conjugaison du français? D'ailleurs, have you done conjugation of verbs in French before now? Elsewhere, have you done any conjugation of verbs in French?
Yes, I've learned quite a number.
D'accord, bon. Maintenant, le verbe discuter. Quel genre ou bien quel groupe du verbe c'est discuter en français? So, which kind of verb is discuter in French? In which group of verbs does it fall into?
The ER verbs.
ER. Très bien. ER, le verbe ER, le groupe du verbe ER. Très bien.
OR.
Très bien, très bien. The ER verbs. In French, we call it E. Répétez, E. E is called as E. Répétez, répétez après moi. E, E-R. E-R. Très bien. E-R. Très bien. So, the ER verbs. Ça, c'est le premier groupe verbe. Le verbe du premier groupe. The verb of the first groups. That's the ER verbs. Ça, c'est le verbe régulier. The regular verbs that we have in French. Mieux. Maintenant, qu'est-ce que c'est mieux en français maintenant? Mieux. You said, on va discuter mieux. Qu'est-ce que c'est mieux en français? What is mieux in French?
Mieux.
Regardez. Better. Très bien. Better. Better. Maintenant, on a testé, on va tester l'ordre de mots en français. We are actually going to be testing the order of the words in French. We are trying to test you on looking at the order of verbs, order of words in French rather. So, on va discuter mieux. We are going to discuss better en français. Qu'est-ce que c'est en français? En français.
En français. In French?
In French, très bien. Après le cours de FTC. What is après le cours de FTC?
After the FTC course or class.
Très bien, très bien. Merci beaucoup. Maintenant, j'ai une question pour vous. Now, I have a question for you. Comment on dit en français we are going home today? What is the meaning of we are going home today in French? Construisez la phrase en utilisant votre connaissance. Use your knowledge of what we did now to construct that sentence. We are going home today.
We are,
we, what is we? Just like with what we have on the screen. Utilisez les mots qui on a sur l'écran. Use the words that we have on the screen. On va discuter.
on va.
Oui,
Oh.
on va is we are going, right? N'est-ce pas?
Oui.
Très bien. Now, home, we are going home today. So what is left is home today. You know what home is?
I know the house. Home.
Okay, the house. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Yeah.
The house en français. What is the house in French?
So I would say on va à la maison
À la
aujourd'hui.
maison. Très bien. Aujourd'hui, on va à la maison aujourd'hui. Maintenant, on va reconstruire la phrase en ajoutant la préposition maintenant. Now, we are now going to reconstruct that sentence, now adding up the preposition phrase. If I say, we are going home today after the class. Maintenant, traduisez la phrase en français. Now, translate that sentence for me in French. We are going home today after the class.
On va à la maison aujourd'hui après le cours.
Après le cours, très bien. Applaudissez-le. Applaudissez-le.
Merci.
Très bien. Clap for yourself. So, on va à la maison aujourd'hui après le cours. That's a perfect sentence. Maintenant, cette classe, c'est en YouTube. Alors, vous pouvez réécouter la classe, après le cours. This class is on YouTube. The link on YouTube, those links we are sharing. So you can always revisit and re-listen to the classes to understand and to repeat what you actually did in class.
Okay.
C'est clair? Is that clear?
Oui, c'est clair.
Oui, d'accord. On a déjà fini avec la première phrase. We are already done with the first phrase. Maintenant, la deuxième phrase, c'est une question. It is a question, the second sentence. Maintenant, j'ai demandé la question, I asked the question, lequel test préparez-vous? TEF, TCF ou DELF, DALF? Maintenant, ma première question pour vous, my first question for you, qu'est-ce que c'est lequel? What is the word lequel in English, en anglais?
Which?
Which, très bien. Which, très bien. Test, what is the meaning of test in French, in English?
Same as French. C'est la même chose.
C'est
Test.
la même chose, très bien. C'est la même chose. It is the same thing. Préparez-vous. What is préparez-vous?
Préparez-vous. You're preparing for.
You preparing for? Très bien. You preparing for? Very nice. Or are you preparing for? Mais non. Dites-moi. Now, tell me. Which marriage are you preparing for? Traduisez la phrase en français. Which marriage are you preparing for? Essayez de traduire la phrase. Try to translate the phrase.
Which marriage?
Which marriage are you preparing for? Ne t'inquiète pas. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry. Attends. Ne t'inquiète pas d'erreur de la construction de la phrase. Don't worry about making mistakes while actually using or forming the sentence.
Okay.
Essayez de traduire la phrase comme ça. Just try to translate the phrase like it is, as it is, as it is. Which marriage are you preparing for? Maintenant, traduisez. Translate it for me. Which marriage are you preparing for?
Mhm. Lequel marié préparez-vous?
Préparez-vous. Maintenant, la chose que vous avez déjà dit, c'est which married. Okay, let me. What I said is what you just said right now is which married are you preparing for? Which married? You just told me which married are you preparing for? Est-ce que c'est la phrase j'ai dit que vous traduisez pour moi? Is that the sentence I say you should translate for me? Répétez.
Mm.
Répondez à ma question. Respond to my question. Is that the sentence I say you should translate for me? You translated
No.
married. Mhm. Maintenant, traduisez. Which marriage are you preparing for? Ne t'inquiète pas d'erreur. Don't worry about the errors or the mistakes. Just say it the way you feel. Which marriage are you preparing for? Traduisez la phrase. Translate the sentence. Une,
Euh,
une fois encore.
quel,
Oui,
quel mariage
d'accord.
préparez-vous pour?
Préparez-vous. Préparez-vous. You won't put pour.
Préparez-vous.
Just préparez-vous. 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 You won't put pour. Merci beaucoup. That's what I wanted to hear. Instead of marriage, in English, we call it mariage. Quel
Mariage.
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 Très bien. Quel mariage
Mariage.
préparez-vous?
Vous?
C'est bon? Maintenant, ça, c'est une autre leçon pour vous. That is another lesson for you. N'importe mot qui se termine en AGE, c'est en français. Any word in English that comes with or that ends with the word AGE comes from French. C'est la prononciation est un peu différent. It is the pronunciation that is a little bit different. So if I ask you, which marriage are you preparing for? You say, quel mariage? Instead of marriage, you say mariage because all the letters, all the vowels, tous les voyelles en français, c'est prononcé. All the vowels in French are pronounced. They are pronounced very loudly. Quel mariage
Mariage.
préparez-vous?
Vous?
C'est bon?
Mariage. Oui, c'est bon.
C'est bon. D'accord. Now, if I want to now ask you again, which entourage are you preparing for? What will you say? Which entourage are you preparing for? Do you know what entourage is?
Yes, in English.
Oui, oui, en français. En anglais. En anglais, entourage est entourage. Maintenant, en français, maintenant, traduisez le mot. Which entourage are you preparing for?
Quel entourage préparez-vous?
Lequel entourage préparez-vous? Très bien. Lequel entourage préparez-vous? Maintenant, ça c'est une bonne réponse. That's a good response. Maintenant, la dernière question. The last question for this is the same question. C'est la même question. Lequel test préparez-vous? Est-ce que vous préparez pour le TEF ou pour le TCF ou pour le DELF ou pour le DALF? Now, this is the exact question. Which test are you preparing yourself for? Is it the TCF? Is it the TCF? TEF? Is it the DELF or is it the DALF? Now, you respond by saying, I am preparing for one of it. So repeat, translate it. I am preparing for dash. I am preparing for dash. Any of the exams. Respond to it. Répondez à cette question. Respond to the question.
Je prépare
Très bien.
pour TEF.
Très bien. Je prépare pour le TEF. Je prépare pour le TEF. Parce que en français, vous devez utiliser l'article devant le me. Because in French, you have to use the article before the word. Si on a les différents mots, par exemple, en comparaison. Now look at this. If we have different words in comparisons, just like we had TEF, TCF ou DELF, DAF, c'est pas important à utiliser les articles. It is not compulsory to use the article in that situation. Because you can't say le TEF, le TCF, le DEF. That's colloquial French. Mais si on a juste un nom dans une phrase, vous devez utiliser l'article. But if we just have one word, then in that situation, you have to use the article. C'est clair? So, c'est clair. Je prépare pour le TEF. Très bien. On continue. On a déjà fini avec ça. Maintenant, nous avons une autre question. We have another question. Quel niveau de français vous voulez atteindre? Répétez après moi. Quel niveau
de français
vous voulez atteindre? Très bien. Maintenant, la signification de cette phrase en anglais, the meaning of that sentence in English is which level or what level, because lequel, the first one we did was lequel, which is which. Some people use quel for what. Literally, quel means what, lequel means which. But sometimes they interchange it to which and what. So, quel niveau, which level, or some people say what level. Quel niveau de français? What level of French? That's the literary meaning. That is where, if you are translating word for word, mot à mot, if you are translating word for word, they'll say quel, what, niveau, level, de, of. Français, French. But sometimes in English, it may look so colloquial. So they'll just say which French level instead of saying what level of French. Instead, c'est la même chose avec, instead of saying sister of my father, some people will say my aunt, or sister of my mother. Some people will say my maternal aunt. I don't know, maybe you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Oui. En français, on n'a pas la position. We don't have possessions, like the possession of apostrophe S, like sister's brother. We don't have that apostrophe S. We use de to replace apostrophe S. On continue. So, quel niveau de français vous voulez atteindre? Vous voulez is do you want? Or some people say you want, because vous is you, voulez is want. But because we have quel, which is Ça, c'est un meule d'interrogation. That is a question word. And because it's a question word, vous devez utiliser l'inversion. You must use what? You must use inversion in the meaning of, instead of you want, it will change to do you want, because it's a question. Atteindre. Atteindre is the verb to achieve. Quel niveau de français vous voulez atteindre? Which French level do you want to achieve? Maintenant, ma question pour vous. Now, my question for you. Comment on dit en français? How do we say in French? Which English level are you? Or do you have? Okay, let me use that. Which English level do you have? Which English level do you have? Qu'est-ce que c'est le verbe have en français? What is the meaning of the French word to have in French?
To have.
Yes, to have. What is to have in French?
Avoir.
Avoir. Très bien, très bien, très bien. Très bien. J'ai testé votre compétence en français. I'm testing your French knowledge as I'm asking those questions. So be mindful of that. Maintenant, on continue. Now, maintenant, on a déjà fait savoir que avoir, c'est to have en français. We already know that you know that avoir is to have in French. Maintenant, construisez la phrase. Construct the sentence. Which, I'm not going to use it again. Which English level do you have? Which English level do you have? Which English level do you have? Construisez la phrase.
Quel niveau d'anglais vous avez?
Très bien. Or let's say bien. I'll not put très. Because you need something. I'll just say well. Quel niveau, you said, de anglais? C'est une erreur
Oui.
dans là-bas. C'est une petite erreur. Petite erreur là-bas. We have a little mistake there. Quel niveau de anglais vous avez? Est-ce que vous savez
D'anglais.
l'erreur? Do you have the... Oui, qu'est-ce que vous dites? What do you say?
Quel niveau d'anglais?
D'anglais, très bien,
Oui.
d'anglais.
Because of the vowel, yes.
À cause de voyelles, à cause de voyelles. C'est ça. Because of the vowel. Parce qu'en anglais, en français, on a la contraction. In French, we have contraction. And for contraction, si nous avons la rencontre de deux voyelles, le premier voyelle va terminer pour ajouter le deuxième voyelle. Because in French, when we have the meeting of two vowels, one vowel has to be deleted to add apostrophe. On va ajouter apostrophe et ajouter le deuxième voyelle. So we would have quel niveau d'anglais vous avez? Quel niveau d'anglais vous avez? Très bien. That's a nice one. Maintenant, on continue. Nous avons une autre question. OK. Il y a beaucoup de questions aujourd'hui. Il y a a lot of questions we have to give. Quelle stratégie vous allez adapter en apprentissage de français? Quelle stratégie vous allez adapter en apprentissage de français? Maintenant, qu'est-ce que c'est quelle stratégie? What is the meaning of quelle stratégie?
Which strategies?
Which strategies? Très bien. Which strategies? Maintenant, si je veux dire en français, if I want to say in French, you know strategy now, which is stratégie. If I want to now say Si je peux dire, par exemple, euh, academy, academy in French, like A.O.S academy. Très bien. If I want to say academy in French, what would I say? Qu'est-ce que c'est va dire? Qu'est-ce que c'est
Uh,
va dire?
mhm. Academy.
Académie. Très bien. Académie. Alors, on va utiliser l'accent aigu, accent, that sign on E is accent aigu. We'll still take it in this class, but it is accent aigu. So instead of just like strategy, changing to stratégie, academy will change to académie en français. Est-ce que vous comprenez ça? Do you understand that?
Oui. Oui.
D'accord. Maintenant, we have asked quelle stratégie vous allez adapter en apprentissage de français. Maintenant, j'ai demandé la question. Now, I am asking you the question. Which academy are you going to study French language learning? Let me take that again. Unit 4, one more time. Which academy are you going to study French language learning? Maintenant, construisez la phrase en français pour moi. Construct that sentence for me in French. Which academy are you going to study the French language learning? Okay, en attendant, I am waiting. C'est bon. Which academy are you going to study? J'ai changé un autre mot. I have changed another word. You know, the first word was adapter, no? Now,
Oui,
we now have to study. Qu'est-ce que c'est student en anglais? What is student en français? What is student in French?
Student, étudiant. Étudiant.
Étudiant, très bien. Étudiant. Étudiant in French is student. Maintenant, what is now the word for to study in French? Qu'est-ce que c'est le mot to study in French? What is the word to study? Because j'ai entendu votre devoir que vous avez déjà m'envoyé. I listened to the assignment that you actually sent me. Et vous utilisez étudier. Étudiant, non? I think you made use of the word étudiant. Did you make use of the word étudiant?
Yes.
Oui, très bien. I remember. You made use of the word étudiant. Maintenant, vous devez savoir le mot to study in French. So you have to know. You have to know the word to study, because now that you know the word for the noun student, you need to know the word for the verb to study. So maintenant, repeat or translate. Which academy are you going to study the French language learning?
French language learning. French language. Quelle académie
Académie, très bien.
vous allez étudier?
Vous allez étudier, très bien, très bien. Vous allez étudier. C'est sur votre écran. It is on your screen. It is on your screen. C'est sur votre écran. It is on your screen. Regardez l'écran. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Dans la section de commentaires. It is in the comment section. C'est dedans la section de commentaires. Quelle stratégie vous allez adapter en apprentissage de français? That is, which strategies are you going to adapt for your French language learning? Maintenant.
Oh, okay. Quelle académie vous allez
Oui,
étudier en
étudier
apprentissage de
en
français?
apprentissage de français. Très bien, applaudissez-le. En
Yes.
apprentissage de français is for your French language learning. That's the meaning. Français, of course, is French. Apprentissage is learning. Apprentissage basically means learning, but because Français is language, we don't need to put language again because language is long, la langue, but we don't need to put because people know French is French language. So, en apprentissage de français, that is French language learning. Très bien, on continue. Maintenant, j'ai encore demandé la question de vous. I am still asking you the question. Quelle stratégie vous allez adapter en apprentissage de français? So, which strategies are you going to adapt for your French language learning? Pendant le cours de FTC, during the FTC course, on a traité 4 stratégies que vous pouvez utiliser pour l'apprentissage de la langue française. We talked about 4 strategies that you can
Okay.
use for your French language learning. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que ce sont les stratégies? What are these strategies? Do you remember the strategies? You can say that one in English because I think the class was in English. What were the
Uh,
strategies?
yes. There was shadowing.
Shadowing, très bien, oui.
There was um, teaching.
Teaching, très bien, oui, c'est ça. Teaching.
There was recording. Is it part of it?
Recording.
Yes.
Oui, oui, we can see
Yeah.
that.
Is it mirroring or recording?
Mirroring,
Oui, oui, oui.
très bien, c'est bon.
And
So, quelle stratégie vous allez adapter? Which of those strategies are you going to adapt to your French learning? Parce que
uh,
j'ai noté votre réponse because I will take note of your response. I will take note of it. So, faites attention dans votre réponse. So, be careful with your response. Be careful. C'est bon.
shadowing and
Shadowing.
and um, and teaching.
And teaching. Très bien.
Yeah.
Maintenant, you are going to use shadowing. That means you'll be repeating after me. You'll be
Oui.
making sure what I'm saying, you are repeating it. Before I say après, répétez après moi, you could have used it. Before I say repeat after me, you could have said it. So be repeating so that you learn in the process. Tutoring. Comment va être fait ça? How are you going to be doing that? Comment va faire ça? How are you going to be doing that? Comment va faire ça?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So
Comment
I have a
va?
daughter who is learning French, and
D'accord?
and
OK.
I'm already ahead of her slightly. So I'm going to make use of her properly.
D'accord. Maintenant, on va traduire ces phrases. We are going to translate those sentences. I have a friend who is learning French.
Mm-hmm.
I have, let's start with, because en français, n'utilisez pas toutes les phrases ensemble. Don't use all the sentences at once. Don't try to translate that. You make mistakes. Or at once, you would mix everything up. Alors, il faut utiliser le tiret. You can use inverted commas or dash to split sentences. Le tiret. Tiret is like dash, dash, dash. Like, I have a friend. You put tiret. That's like not full
Yes.
stop, but like a dash. Who is
Mm-hmm.
learning French? Another one. So, maintenant, I have a friend. Qu'est-ce que c'est friend en français? What is friend in French?
Ami.
What is friend in French? Ami, très bien. Ami is friend. Now, I have. What is I have? Vous avez déjà savoir to have en français, you already know the meaning of avoir. Hey, I've said it.
Oui.
You already know the meaning of
Oui.
to have in French. I have. I have.
J'ai.
J'ai. Très bien. J'ai. Now, a friend. A friend. What is a friend? I have a friend. One. Just a. And that's another idea. A is one in French. It's not
Mhm.
like English that A is a different word and one is a different word. No. A
Mhm.
and one, c'est la même chose en français. It's the same thing in French. So A is the same thing like one. If you know 1, 2, 3, 4 in French, you know what A is. So what is A? Qu'est-ce que c'est A en français? What is A in French? What is one
Un.
in French? Un, très bien.
Un.
Un, très bien. So I have a friend. You have said J is I have. A is on. What is now friend? Maintenant, dit
J'ai
ensemble.
un ami.
Oui, j'ai un ami. Très bien.
Un
J'ai
ami.
un
Un ami.
ami. Très
Un
bien.
ami.
J'ai un
J'ai
ami.
un ami. Oui. J'ai
Très bien.
un
On
ami.
a déjà fini avec cette phrase. We are done with that first sentence. I have a friend. J'ai un ami. Who is learning French? Est-ce que vous savez le mot ou en français? Do you know the meaning of ou in French? Ou. Ou in French. Do you
Ou,
know? Est-ce que tu sais? Do you know? Est-ce que tu sais?
euh,
Do you know?
oui. Who, who
Oui.
is qui?
Qui? Très bien, très bien. Who is
Qui.
qui? Qui?
Mhm.
Très bien. So, who is learning French? Is gotten from the verb to be. Do you know the verb to be in French?
Oui. Être.
Être. Très bien. Être, to be. So, who is learning French? Now, notez, notez. Ça, c'est une situation, beaucoup d'étudiants font les erreurs. This is the place where a lot of French people make, a lot of French students make errors. I've asked you is être, which is correct. But who is learning French is what I'm asking. Who is learning French? Maintenant, on a déjà fait un exemple qui on utilise is dash. Like, okay, look at this. Lequel test préparez-vous? And we said, which test are you preparing for? What is that I in that situation? Qu'est-ce que c'est A dans cette situation? What was that A in that situation? C'est rien, non? It was nothing. C'est dedans le verbe préparer. It was in the verb préparer. Because I told you
Mhm.
préparez-vous is are you preparing for? Right?
Mhm.
Are you preparing for?
Mhm.
Alors, on n'utilise pas être. We didn't use être to say, okay, lequel test être préparé. Ça, c'est pas bon français. That is not a good French. Alors, dans cette situation encore, in this situation where we are talking about your friend, now look at it. Who is learning French? What is the word for to learn? That's what you are meant to focus on, not the verb être, which is to be. Est-ce que vous comprenez? C'est compris? Est-ce que c'est compris? Do you understand that?
Oui.
You are not.
To
C'est
learn, so to
okay.
learn is upon. Upon.
Apprendre. Très bien.
Upon. Oui.
Apprendre. Apprendre is to learn.
Upon. Oui.
Apprendre. To learn. Now, who is learning French? We know who as qui, apprendre as to learn. French is what? Qu'est-ce que c'est French en français? What is French? French is what?
Français.
Français. Très bien.
Français.
Maintenant, ajoutez tous les mots ensemble. Let's add all the words together. Who is learning French will be what? Qui quoi? Qui qui
Qui,
apprend, oui, qui apprend le français? I had to do that for you. Qui apprend le français? Apprend, c'est différent que apprendre. Apprendre is to learn, qui se termine en R-E. It ends with R-E. That is to learn. Mais la conjugaison de apprendre en présent de l'indicatif in the present indicative tense apprend avec S à la fin du mot. But apprendre, when you conjugate it in the present indicative tense, it gives you apprend with S at the end. A-P-P-R-E-N-D-S. That is qui apprend. Vous ne prononcez pas le S ou bien le D. You are not going to pronounce the S and the D. Qui apprend le français? Qui apprend, who is learning the French language? C'est clair?
oui, c'est clair.
C'est clair. Maintenant, on va utiliser les deux phrases ensemble maintenant. So we are going to use the two phrases, the two sentences together. I have a friend who is learning French. Combiner. Combiner les deux mots. Combine les deux phrases. Combine the two sentences for me.
J'ai un ami qui apprend le français. Sorry.
Oui.
J'ai
Oui.
j'ai un ami qui,
Mon ami.
qui apprend le français.
Qui apprend le français. J'ai un ami qui apprend le français. Très bien. Très bien. C'est une bonne phrase. Maintenant, nous avons encore deux phrases. We have again two sentences. Mais voici votre devoir. These are your assignments. Voici vos devoirs. These are your assignments. Numéro 1. Quelles activités vous allez utiliser pour parler la langue française tous les jours? Quoi encore? One more time. Quelles activités vous allez utiliser pour parler la langue française tous les jours? And what's the meaning of that? It says, which activities are you going to use to speak French language daily? Ça, c'est le premier. Le deuxième, the next one is, est-ce que vous avez un portable ou ordinateur que vous utilisez pour apprendre la langue française? Une autre fois, one more time. Est-ce que vous avez un portable ou ordinateur que vous utilisez pour apprendre la langue française? Maintenant, now we have est-ce que. Est-ce que in this situation will mean do. Do. Vous avez. You have. You have. Un portable et mobile phone. Ou un ordinateur. Or a laptop. Or laptop. Que vous utilisez. That you use. Que vous utilisez. That you use. Pour apprendre la langue française. For French language learning. For French language learning. So people say pour apprendre. To learn la langue française, the French language. c'est la même chose. It's the same thing. You can either say pour apprendre, to learn la langue française, the French language, or you can say for French language learning, pour apprendre la langue française. Maintenant, utilisez les deux phrases pour reconstruire les phrases et former 5 nouvelles phrases. Use these 2 sentences to reconstruct and form 5 new sentences. C'est clair? Utilisez le devoir. Let me write it down. Utilisez ces 2 phrases pour reconstruire 5 nouvelles phrases. So the assignment today is use these last. Utilisez ces 2 phrases. Use these 2 sentences pour reconstruire. To reconstruct what? Pour reconstruire 5 nouvelles phrases. To reconstruct 5 new sentences. C'est clair? Is it clear?
Oui, c'est clair.
Oui, c'est clair. Merci beaucoup. Et je vais attendre votre devoir dans le groupe Telegram. So I will be expecting your assignment in the Telegram group. Est-ce que vous avez n'importe question pour moi aujourd'hui? Do you have any questions for me today?
No.
Non. OK. Comment
No.
était la classe aujourd'hui? How was the class today?
I would say it was very good. Still learning a lot and gaining the courage to speak
D'accord.
each day. Yeah, so I would say this one is also a very good one.
Oui, merci beaucoup. I would say it was a very good one. If you want to say that, you can say, I am going to say it was a very good one, like in French.
Mhm.
So I would say, I am going to say, je vais dire, you know the word to go already, which is aller. So je vais dire, I am going to say, it was a very good one. C'était, that's a new verb, that's l'imparfait, but don't worry, we'll do that one later. C'était, it was, c'était une bonne classe, une bonne class, a very good class. Une bonne, because you know class already, or you know cours. You can say un bon cours as well. Un bon cours. See, l'idée de traduire la phrase avec vous dans le cours. The idea behind translating the sentences with you in class, c'est pour voir que le français, c'est pas simple à construire. Is that for you to see that to construct French sentences are easy. Et vous avez déjà avoir les vocabulaires. And you already have the vocabularies. You already know the words. Mais c'est très important à utiliser dans construire les phrases. But it is very important for you to try to use them to construct the sentences. Ça, c'est la raison que vous êtes en classe. That's the reason why you are in class. D'accord? Merci beaucoup et au revoir. Vous pouvez utiliser l'audio. You can use audio pour reconstruire les phrases pour le devoir. You can use audio as well to construct the sentences and send it to me. C'est pas important à utiliser. Nous avons beaucoup de temps à lire et aussi écrire le français. We would have a lot of time to write and read the French. Mais le
Oh,
problème, le problème majeur d'étudiants, c'est la prononciation et aussi en parler la langue. The problem, the major problem I have with students is pronunciation and speaking the language. Si vous parlez très bien la langue, vous allez écrire, lire et entendre bien la langue. If you can speak the language very well, you'll be able to listen, read, and write the language. C'est clair?
c'est clair.
Oui, merci beaucoup et à tout à l'heure.
Merci.
Thank you very
Merci.
much. Bye for now. Bye.
Ok, bye.